Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. So we are reading from Canto 1, The Creation, Chapter 19, The Appearance of Śukadeva Goswāmī, and text number 25. So Srīmad Bhāgavatam 1:19-25. Tatra bhavat bhagavan vyasa putro yadrichayagam atmano napeksha alakshalingo nijalabhatushto vritascha baleravadhuta vesha. Tatra bhavat bhagavan vyasa putro yadrichayagam atmano anapeksha alakshalingo nija labhatushto vritascha baleravadhuta vesha. Tatra bhavat bhagavan vyasaputro yadrichayagam atmano napeksha alakshalingo nijalabhatushto vritascha baleravadhuta vesha. Synonyms, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Synonyms. Tatra, there. Abhavat, appeared. Bhagavan, powerful. Vyasaputraha, son of Vyasadeva. Yadrichaya, as one desires. Gam, the earth. Atmanaha, while traveling. Anapekshaha, disinterested. Alakshya, unmanifested. Lingaha, symptoms. Nijalabhaha, self-realized. Tushta, satisfied. Vritaha, surrounded. Cha, and. Balehe, by children. Avadutaha, neglected by others. Veshaha, dressed. Translation. At that moment, there appeared the powerful son of Vyasadeva, who traveled over the earth, disinterested and satisfied with himself. He did not manifest any symptoms of belonging to any social order or status of life. He was surrounded with women and children, and he dressed as if others had neglected him. Would anyone like to read the purport, please?
I can read. The word Bhagavan is sometimes used in relation with some of the great devotees of the Lord, like Śukadeva Goswāmī. Such liberated souls are disinterested in the affairs of this material world because they are self-satisfied by the great achievements of devotional service. As explained before, Śukadeva Goswāmī never accepted any formal spiritual master, nor did he undergo any formal reformatory performances. His father, Vyasadeva, was his natural spiritual master because Śukadeva Goswāmī heard srimadbhagavatam from him. After this, he became completely self-satisfied. Thus, he was not dependent on any formal process. The formal process unnecessary for those who are expected to reach the stage of complete liberation. But Śukadeva Goswāmī was already in that status by the grace of his father. As a young boy, he was expected to be properly dressed, but he went about naked and was uninterested in social customs. He was neglected by the general populace, and inquisitive boys and women surrounded him as if he were a madman. He thus appears on the scene while traveling on the earth of his own accord. It appears that upon the inquiry of Maharaj Parikshit, the great sages were not unanimous in their decision as to what was to be done. For spiritual salvation, there were many prescriptions according to the different modes of different persons. But the ultimate aim of life is to attain the highest perfectional stage of devotional service to the Lord. As doctors differ, so also sages differ in their different prescriptions. While such things were going on, the great and powerful son of Vyasadeva appeared on the scene. Thank you.
Thank you. Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhati Nashtaki Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayati Girim Yat Kripatam Aham Bande Shri Guru Dinataranam Shri Chaitanya Vishwaram Shri Paramananda Manavam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So, a beautiful purport again by Srila Prabhupada describing the entrance of Śukadeva Goswami. And why is this entry of Śukadeva Goswami a very special entry? For all of us, who have decided to take this path of bhakti, who are devoted to this path of Bhagavad Dharma, that means the religion which is taught by Srīmad Bhāgavatam. We are all devoted to that. Therefore, it is a very important part of the narration. Why? Because this is the time when the chief speaker has arrived on the scene, and the chief speaker is not an ordinary person. He has changed the history of mankind. He has changed all of our fate, if we come to think of it. As they say in English, the game changer in our lives. So Śukadeva Goswami is that, that game changer in all our lives. He's that beacon of light. He taught how the human civilization should act so that they can attain the highest potential of consciousness. So therefore, for all of us, here on the call, this point of entry of Śukadeva Goswami is very important. That how it's described, Prabhupada says, the Vyasa Putra has just arrived. That means he is the personality of, he's the son of Srila Vyasadeva. And so in addition to the 6 questions that the sages asked to Suta Goswami, they also asked, in addition to those 6 questions, 4 questions. And one of the questions was that how was Śukadeva Goswami viewed by others? And how did his meeting with Maharaj Parikshit transpire? In the 4th chapter of Canto 1, sages asked this question. There is this verse which says that how come Śukadeva Goswami, who was accustomed to stay at the door of any householder only for the long enough for the cow to be milked, or and that too he went because he wanted to purify the residence of the householder. So how come Śukadeva Goswami, who was accustomed to stay at these places, at householders' places for such a short time, how come he decided to stay at one place for 7 days? Why did he took that endeavor of reciting these 18,000 verses of Bhagavatam? And what's the answer here? It says yadrichaya. That means it is automatic that he came like as one desires, he comes. But we see how it is the will of the Lord. The Paramatma in his heart has guided him to come to this place. And why has he arrived? Because there was no sort of a communication sent to him. It says here, Yadrichaya. That means the Lord in the heart has told him that you have to arrive here. Because his mind is so pure, his purity clearly guided him to come to this place, because this place is very important. And what is happening here? The king of the planet, the king of the entire planet, the entire world, emperor of the entire world, has taken a vow of simply submitting himself to listening to what is most beneficial for him, since he only has last 7 days left. So, and therefore he is present here. And Maharaj Parikshit, and we read in the previous verses that how no communication was sent to the sages as well. Still, all the sages from the entire world, they arrived at this place. And Maharaj Parikshit is asking questions from the sages. He's presenting his questions, that is to, we saw in the previous verse, what is the unalloyed duty of everyone in all circumstances, and specifically of those who are just about to die. Now we see sages are like these, they're like this natural mentors of human society. Even when we see up till date, till India as well, even people who don't follow, we see people in India don't follow Varnashrama Dharma, but still there is this natural tendency of taking opinion of sages or brahmanas who they consider have some wisdom, or they can see something that the general ordinary people cannot see. So these brahmanas or sages are considered as, they are like the guide, the mentor for mankind. And when Maharaj Parikshit asked the sages, it is said that there was no conclusive verdict that came out. Like Prabhupada gives this example that how different doctors are giving different prescriptions. So similarly, based on their experience and the experience of the sages were describing this is the good path to go, or this is the good path to go. Recently, I'm listening to this audiobook of Radhanath Maharaj, The Journey Home. And this when this point came when I was researching for this verse, was that no conclusive verdict came. So similarly, Radhanath Maharaj also traveled all across India, different paths, spiritual paths he explored. He went to Mother Teresa, he went to Buddhism, Zennism, Naga Babas, and everywhere that he was going, the leaders or the particular group of that spiritual path, they are telling him that, oh, this is the best path. But his heart is, wandering for more, he's not satisfied. So, this point came to my mind that this is how the sages must have been, like there was no conclusive verdict that this is the process. So there were different perceptions coming from different sages, and these sages, they were not ordinary sages. So it is said that they are like this, how we have any award like any award ceremony, where the entire, like a film award ceremony, and the entire film fraternity comes to in that arena or in that place where this award ceremony is happening. Similarly, because the king of the entire world has decided to come to this place and has taken a vow. Therefore, all the sages, the natural mentors of the human society, they have come from all over the place, all over the world, to guide him. So this place is actually the reason why these sages have gathered together here, is because this event is actually going to affect the consciousness of the entire universe. And we see here that as soon as at the moment there appeared the powerful son of Vyasadeva. So as soon as Vyasadeva, Śukadeva Gosvāmī entered, even though the sages were had difference of opinions, they agreed on one thing. What is that? That the moment Srila Śukadeva Gosvāmī entered, they said, oh, he looks the most enlightened one. Let's ask him. So, they came to this, regardless of their difference of opinions, they came to this conclusion that this person looks more enlightened than all of us here. Therefore, we should ask him. And this, this also gives us a lesson to learn that even in a devotee community, we may have difference of opinion amongst us. However, how gracefully we can solve that or come over that, tells a lot about our own character. And that's how devotees are. They always have this intention of pleasing Krishna. The pleasure of Krishna is the priority for them. And they all understand that regardless of the difference of opinions we have, there is no malice in anyone's heart. So similarly here also, the sages did not have, they came to this conclusion that let's ask him. And why ask him? Because he is Vyasadeva. He is Vyasadev's son. So, and who's Vyasadeva? Vyasadeva is the literally incarnation of Krishna. That means, so when Krishna wants to demonstrate as a perfect king, he comes as Lord Ramachandra. When Krishna wants to demonstrate the attributes of a Raja Rishi, or he comes in the form of Maharaj Prithu, as he takes the form of Shakti Avashesh avatar of Krishna. And similarly, when to perform the function of a great author who has written books of knowledge, which has become the manual for mankind, then Krishna comes as Maharishi Vyasadeva. Recently, there was Guru Purnima, and it is said that that's the day when Vyasadeva appeared. And Vyasadeva is, he's revered as the greatest benefactor of mankind because of the scriptures he has written. In the history of human civilization, it is said that he's the greatest author. Na bhuto na bhavishyati. That means we haven't seen anyone like him in the past, nor we will see anyone like him in the future. Therefore, when his son comes, so such a great personality, son arrives, who is carrying the legacy of his own father, who is well trained by his father, then sages come to this conclusion that we should consult him. And that's why, we address, sometimes we address Vyasadeva as Bhagavan Vyas, because he is the incarnation of Krishna. And therefore it is said here that similarly Śukadeva Gosvāmī is also addressed here as Bhagavan. So Bhagavan means, they don't mean that Krishna himself, but because he has the power of Krishna. Krishna empowers that particular personality to glorify him. And then the next word stated here in the word to word is alaksha. Alaksha means unmanifested, which means by his dress, by Śukadeva Goswami's dress, they could not decide which social order he belongs to, which varna or ashram is he belonging to, because he's an avaduta. There is this, it says here, avaduta, neglected by others. That means avaduta, they are not guided by the social customs of society. They are actually on the platform of liberation. And it's very interesting to know how, what is the history of Śukadeva Goswami and how he appeared. So Śukadeva Goswami, it is said that he is one of the parrots of Srimati Radharani. So, in Brajamandal, in Vrindavan, there are hundreds and thousands of parrots, and one of the chief parrots is Shukha parrot. And when Lord Shiva was narrating Srimad Bhagavatam to Mother Parvati, this parrot Shukha arrived, and he said that, oh, my Lord's pastimes are being discussed here. So he was all ears, and he was in rapt attention of relishing those pastimes. But what was happening while Lord Shiva was narrating those pastimes of Bhagavatam, Mother Parvati was dozing off to sleep. And while she was sleeping. So mother, like in between while he's narrating the pastimes of Krishna, Lord Shiva is asking, my dear Parvati, are you listening? And then, sometimes she would say yes. And then, he would, or sometimes she would not say anything. And then he would open his eyes. And then, because it was causing a disturbance in the hearing of the Shukha parrot. So what did he do? Because parrots can imitate the voice of humans. So he started imitating. So when Lord Shiva is completely absorbed, he has closed his eyes as when he's narrating the pastimes, he's relishing those pastimes of Krishna. He's asking in the middle of the pastime that, my dear Parvati, are you listening? So then Shukha parrot started imitating Mother Parvati and said, yes, I'm listening. And then that's how he concluded the Bhagavatam. And then the moment Lord Shiva opened his eyes, he saw that Mother Parvati is sleeping. So then he thought, who was saying that I was listening then that time? So then he saw this parrot. When I was researching about the story, it is said that it was not it was like, because these pastimes are very intimate pastimes, so it's said that it's not disclosed to subhuman species. So then Lord Shiva got angry and he just ran after this parrot, that why did you hear this pastimes? And so when Shukha parrot was running, they happened to Vyasadeva and his good wife they were sitting, so Vyasadev's wife's mouth was opened, and the Shukha parrot entered into her mouth and entered into her womb. So of course, when we hear these pastimes, sometimes our logic, our material logic, is unable to understand this. But these transcendental pastimes, it is said that when we are listening a pastime, we cannot put our logic, our material logic to it, because our senses are limited. So this is what happened, that the Shukha parrot entered the mouth of the wife of Vyasadeva, and then entered the womb of his wife. And so because this parrot was self-realized, he was fully realized, so he was aware of his surroundings, and he realized that now he's in the material world, and that means he is prone to being distracted by the illusory energy. So he decides to not come out of the womb. So for 16 years, Vyasadev's wife is pregnant. So Śukadeva Goswāmī does not come out of the womb of his mother until 16 years. But then, Vyasadeva promises him that he will not be enamored by the illusory energy of the world. And then he decides to come out. And the moment Śukadeva Goswāmī comes out, he just goes out of the house and just goes into the forest. And then Vyasadeva, we have, I think it's in the Canto 1 only, where Vyasadeva is running behind Śukadeva Goswāmī, and he's calling out his name. And only the trees, or Śukadeva Goswāmī is not interested, but only the trees, only the voice that Vyasadeva is hearing is the trees are echoing his own voice, Vyasadeva's voice. So then Vyasadeva decides to send his disciples to Śukadeva Goswāmī in the forest, and they decide these 3 verses of Bhagavatam. And one of the verses that they decide to Śukadeva Goswāmī, or they just happen to have a conversation, and then Śukadeva Goswāmī overhears them, these 3 verses. And then, so these verses are, the very first verse is when Krishna is giving mercy to his devotees, and it's described that how Krishna became the, not only a guide or a friend to Pandavas, but also their chariot driver, their messenger. And then the second verse, the disciples of Vyasadeva recite was how Putana got delivered by Krishna. So, in this pastime of Putana, Krishna is not looking at the intention of Putra. He's looking at the action. And that's and then he gives this position of a dhatri to Krishna, to Putana. That means position of a nurse in the spiritual world. And so that means this verse shows this compassion, his compassion upon even the envious souls. And the third verse they talk about is Krishna's beauty. And the moment Śukadeva Gosvāmī hears these three verses, he starts asking, who is this person? Who is this person? And it is a very powerful incident, or a very powerful event that happened, because it gives us an understanding that Krishna is truly all attractive. Why? Because he attracts even the liberated soul. And liberated soul means, for us, liberation means, okay, merging into the existence. But actually, liberation means that the people who are liberated, they are not attracted by a man or woman, good food, hotels, dresses, car, fancy business or investment properties or money. Nothing of this world can ever touch their consciousness. So they are simply internally satisfied. And when they are on that platform where they have no attraction for anything of this material world, yet they are attracted by Krishna. So here is a strong proof of Krishna's all attractiveness. There is another verse that describes in 7th chapter of this canto, which says, Atmaramas chamunyo nirgrante api urukrame kurvanti ahetukim bhakti ittam bhuto gunohari. That means that all different varieties of Atmarams, that means Atmarams means liberated souls who have nothing to do with this material world. Even as practicing devotees, we have so many material desires. We get attracted to, opulence, fame. So we can understand that, getting attracted by something like which is of a material nature. But here, this verse describes that even the Atmarams who take pleasure in self, they are internally self-realized, who are free from any material bondage. They also have this desire to glorify Krishna, to engage in the service of Krishna, to engage in the process of devotional service. So this personality, all attractive Krishna, he gets attracted by the pure devotion. So Krishna is all attractive, and Atmarams they also get attracted to Krishna. But how is Krishna attracted to? Krishna is attracted to one of the qualities of devotional service is Sri Krishna Akarshani. That means devotional service attracts Krishna. Krishna is not attracted by the desire, by karma mishra bhakti. That means when we are practicing bhakti, or if we have some fruitive desire, okay, I want this for Krishna, however, I don't mind having something for me as well. That does not entice Krishna. Bhakti Rupa Goswāmī says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that Muktim dadati karhichit smana bhakti yogam, that Krishna easily gives liberation. What he does not give easily is bhakti. Why is that? Because by bhakti, Krishna is purchased himself. So as practicing devotees, it is so important for us to to not be enamored by this, by the attractions of the material world. Krishna is not attracted by any of those qualities, material qualities that we have. He is attracted by our love. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhakta prayachati. I mean, he's only attracted by that. Even if you offer me a fruit, a flower, a leaf, a water, but if you offer me with love, and that's the only thing that attracts Krishna. One of the qualities of 64 qualities of Krishna, one of the qualities is that Bhritya Vashyata. That means Bhritya means servant, and Vashyata means control. Krishna comes under the control of the servant. He comes under the control, and when we say that he comes under the control of the servant, he actually does not come under the control of the servant. He comes under the control of the bhakti of that bhritya, of that servant. So there are, and the main, so the main point here is that in order to attract Krishna, what we have to do is we have to awaken that pure bhakti, asking this question to ourselves, that what did I do? Devotees, it is said that they are thoughtful, they are introspective. So while practicing devotional service, we should be so careful and so thoughtful, so introspective, that, okay, I did this. What did I do today to attract Krishna? My eternal goal is that I want to attract Krishna. I want to engage in the unalloyed devotional service. So how was I, at the end of the day, we should analyze our day. How did I perform today? How did I, was my heart there in the chanting that I did? Was my heart there in the cooking that I did for Krishna? And when we ask these questions to ourselves, Krishna shows up in our life. Krishna reminds us, hey, you are not doing this right. Keshav Maharaj gives in his book Tattva that how we can analyze our bhakti when it is ritual or when it is spiritual. And one of the points that he gives is that when we are doing our rounds, did we chant with this, putting our heart into those rounds, that yes, Krishna, this chanting that I'm doing is for you. This is not a ritual. We want to complete our rounds. We don't want to finish our rounds. I want to look forward to my chanting beads. I always want to look forward to my chanting beads. If there are devotees who have so much love for this this process of chanting, that how we pick, I pick at any free time that I get, I pick my smartphone and just start aimlessly scrolling. But the devotees who have real love for Krishna, they pick up the chanting beads and they start chanting. So this should be and that attracts Krishna. And this should be our meditation, that at the end of the every day, we should analyze, we should introspect that how did I come closer to Krishna today from yesterday? So I'll stop here and see if anyone has any questions. Sorry, I did not realize the time. 7:03. Sorry. If anyone has any questions, any comments?
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. No question. Thank you. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Hare Krishna. Have a blissful Krishna conscious day. Hare Krishna. Srīmad Bhagavad Granthra Srīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you very much for beautiful class.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hari Bol.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.